All right, hey, what's going on, my friends? This is your boy Turgon the Wise coming at you with a new video today, and this is my week 3 update for season 17, playing Lord of the Rings: Rise to War. As you can see, here is the map, and just to set the stage, I'm going to talk you through who's who. And I'll start, of course, with my team, which is YuDz. I'm in my 5th season playing with YuDz. In case anyone isn't familiar with our history, we are two RP teams, roleplay teams, that merged Yadu and Nudes, which makes YuDz. We're not YuDz. I've heard people refer to us as YuDz, and it just makes me laugh. It's like when anyway, we're the pretty fluorescent pink color over here, and we span all the way from Erebor down to the Darklands and have, grown over in this southern Ravanian area. There's not a whole lot going on in the East. There's some little teeny tiny teams there that really can't do a whole lot. So we just have left this, and maybe at some point later in the season, completely out of boredom, we'll just take these. But for now, we're content to just let it go. And there's one other purple kingdom, which is this guy over here that has Edoras. That is a kingdom called Gard, Gard. And I have not had any dealings with them really, so I can't really comment uh, on them at all. Next, we'll go to the Blue Kingdoms. You might be saying, Turgon, what Blue Kingdoms? I see a lot of blue, but how many kingdoms are we talking? I'll tell you up front, there are 3 distinct blue kingdoms on this map. The first we'll talk through is Iron, who are actually our friends here, and they span all the way from arid Mithrin down to the White Mountains. This like turquoise blue. Now, I'm not an expert on color theory. If this is not turquoise blue, please feel free to correct me in the comments below. Then out in the west here, we have this like pretty sky blue, and that is Unit, which is a younger team, but quite active. And from what I hear, you're pretty pleasant. And that's our one red pin on the map where they're kind of skirmishing. They're a young team. Like I think from what I have heard, they're in like their 4th or 5th season playing the game. So just letting them do their thing out here. And there's really not a whole lot going on out here either. There's another team called Sons of Durin, Sodin, and don't know a whole lot about them either. We haven't been out there, so we don't know. Then down here at the very bottom, towards Gondor, the land of 5 streams, we have 1T and Vsop, and no one has really wanted to fight us at all this season. There has been no uh, effort whatsoever to stop us from going anywhere we want or doing anything we want. And that is really the story of the season right there. Um, RUSC started down here in Darklands, and you can see we've conquered all of that. I'll walk you through kind of a little bit like how the server developed. Obviously, we started up here in the Iron Hills, and you can't leave your starting region until Chapter 4 completes. Let me show you the chapters here. Can I click on something or something? Like, what is going on with it? There we go. That's better. I don't know why it was showing spinny stuff here. Oh, and I just happened to be checking out what's going on over at Minas Tirith here, which is the capital of Vsop, and RUSC was here. I don't know. I don't know what the heck is going on, man. They run from us, but they're happy to come over here and try to reestablish themselves. Maybe they're just trying to figure out, what to do with this season. Um, Even though they've made it plain that they don't have any interest in engaging us. None of these teams really have, which is very disappointing. But um, it is what it is. So what was I doing? Uh, I was gonna do something. I came out of the map for a very specific reason, and now I forgot what it is. That's silly. Oh, the chapters. That's right. I'm sorry. So let's go to the chapters. So basically, you start the season, and everything is on timers. So it doesn't matter how fast you get these 25,000. The 25,000 tiles just determines whether or not you get the rewards. And then the same for this. In Search of Power, there's another timer there, and another timer for Heroes Gather, and another timer for threat removal. So it don't matter how fast you sweep 45,000 mobs. Um, the timer ends when the timer ends. And if I recall correctly, and I might need to go back and watch some of my own videos for this, or just to talk with people who have better memories than me. Um, I'm pretty sure it took 5 days for chapter 4 to complete. It's either 5 or 7. I can't remember off the top of my head. And then Fertile Lands was another day, and then chapter 6 was another, I think, couple of days. I feel like it was 5 days for to get through chapter 4, and 10 days to get through chapter 6, and that's what opens up the passes between for the Mordor and the East. Chapter 4 is going to get you out of your starting region, so you're trapped. Literally, everyone is trapped in their starting region for at least 5 days to start each season now with these changes. And then you got 10 days later, then you can start fighting other kingdoms outside of the kingdoms that are your immediate neighbors. So we started in Erebor, we could fight Ered Mithrin, we could fight the East, and that was it. And then after Chapter 6 unlocked, then we could attack Mordor, and Mordor could attack the East or whatever. And then Chapter 8, this did not complete until I believe it was day 16. So you cannot enter the regions around Dol Guldur, such as Southern Anduin Vale, Undeeps, or Karas Galadon, until this chapter completes, and that is 16 days into the season now. That's more than 2 weeks. You're like, what a strange number. How do you remember that? Well, we started the season. My time, it was 4 a.m. when the season started. Of course, this season is unique because daylight savings ended in the middle of our season. So 4 UTC is now 3. I'm sorry, 8 UTC. It was 4 a.m. my time when the season started. Now 8 UTC is 3 a.m. my time. So that kind of slightly alters timing a little bit, but it was 8:0800 UTC the Sunday after the 2 week point when chapter 8 completed. I'm pretty sure it was Sunday. It was either a Sunday or a Monday. So it's either 16 or 17 days. I'm pretty sure it was 16 days, but who knows. And now we're on chapter 9, and this literally is one full fucking week. I'm just sitting here on chapter 9. So you could check out the rankings, and it's, it's the map. It's basically the map. So now the question that people have for me is, we've been on timers up to this point. Will there be a timer for chapter 10? You know what? I don't honestly know. There wasn't last season. So if they didn't change this, then once chapter 9 completes, chapter 10 will automatically complete as well because we occupy Erebor, Barad-dûr, and Rydersburg, which is 3 significant control points. And it's possible we'll have more before the timer ends. And then Dol Guldur will be open and we can capture it. And that is what's going to lead to the big fireworks of the season. And we're excited for that. Our partners, our good friends over with Iron are excited for that. We're going to have ourselves a little ring poo war. And it should be fun. And we're planning, actually, we're not going to just, as soon as the chapter ends and DG unlocks, assuming chapter 10 doesn't have a timer, This chapter 9 is going to end for us at 0800 Sunday morning, which is why I'm pretty sure it was 0800 Sunday morning for chapter 8, because chapter 9 is a week. So now it makes sense. All the math is falling into place. Uh, so we're not going to start the ring war right when DG unlocks, if it unlocks on Sunday morning at 0800. It's the weekend. There's really no rush to do it. So we've agreed upon another time on Monday to begin our ring war, and that should be fun. Uh, Anyone is invited to help Iron. It'll basically be Iron versus YuDz in the ring war. I'm being very careful not to zoom into my map because I don't want to share certain pins that I have placed in preparation for it. I love you, Iron, but I'm not going to give you any hints. And I would not want you to give me any hints either if you had YouTube people YouTubing things about this on their YouTube. But, and everyone who's watched my videos over the years knows that I'm very careful with what I share and how I share it. And I try to be, as respectful and fair to everyone as I kind of report out on the happenstances of each season. Of course, it is impossible not to interject certain elements of opinion. That happens from time to time, but it's a game, and that's all. So that's the map. That's how everything is gone. That's what's going on. That's what's happening. Let's check out the leaderboard real quick here. Personal affluence, the high on the server is 68,000. Woo! Jax, get the hell back in. No, I'm just kidding. You're probably leveling commanders, and that's fine. You do that. And then for merit, I mean, we're 3 weeks into the season in less than 6 hours, and the top merit on the server is 1 million. So it's pretty stark contrast to last season, where we had someone end the season with 11 million merit, I think, or maybe it was contribution, one of those things. So it's just not a lot of fighting this server. It's a chill season, and that's okay. C'est la vie. From a fellowship perspective, here's your affluence numbers. YuDz on top with 4.2 million affluence. Iron number 2 at 3.5. The RUSC, the Russian champions. Does that say champ? Like shouldn't it be champions? I'm confused. Let's see. Rush champions. Huh. I don't know what a champion is. I'm assuming it's champion. Is this Russian? I don't read Russian, so I can be confused by, and maybe they just thought it was silly to change the A to an E. They're silly people. I like RUSC. I'm sad that they're not really participating in this server. So that's the affluence board. You can see the disparity between 1 and 3 is pretty significant at, 1.3 million, especially considering RUSC doesn't even have a kingdom. Unit number 4 out in the west, 1T and VSOP 5 and 7 respectively. Guard at 8, and Sons of Durin and KOTV coming in number 10. They're only 37 peeps. Shout out to Ethereal. Shout out to Drelander for Sons of Durin. Shout out to Rex G of Guard. Shout outs to the leader of VSOP here, this guy. I apologize. I cannot read your language, and I don't mean that mean that in any sort of like a disrespectful way. I wanted to give you a shout out, but then I realized that I'm ignorant. Lord Cram, shout outs to Cram. 1T. Shout out to you, sir. Shout out to Andronus. Shout out to I can't pronounce that either. I'm sorry. And Saint, the new leader of Iron. Contribution, it really doesn't look much different from merit. Commanders, we got a guy at 46. Cool beans. And that's really what's going on. One of the other things I just wanted to call out while I'm kind of here, I was fiddling around. Where is it? There's this title tab, and I was looking at the rewards. Like you can scroll down, and it shows you the chest that you get for winning the season, and like okay, you got your Axakaza, Doom, and your Orb, and your drums, and that, and this guy, and it just doesn't seem that great. It makes me feel like you look at the second place awards, Strife of the Herd. What kind of weird ass name is that? Still got your drums and raiment, and the fiddle's okay, and Cowl of the Forest is okay, so it's not a terrible chest. Still the same drop rate, so. But you can look at all of these now. That's new. There's this Strife of the Herd. It's the same. It's the same one. How much strife herding we got going on here? Middle Earth Journey Mathem chest. So this is for Explorer. It's still not terrible. I mean, that's a good. The spear is a good item, and the cowl's a good item. So it's not terrible getting Explorer anymore. Traveler, you don't get. You still got the spear and the cowl, so and it's an 11.5 drop rate. Like, not a whole lot of incentive to really work for that. The target tab, eh. So I mean that's everything that's going on with that. I wanted to show you the new reports that they have because they're pretty cool. I thought my computer was just about to shit itself. Let's see if I can find any PvP reports at all. It's very difficult to find PvP this server, and we are hungry. We are very, very hungry. Oh, this is where I hit this guy. I hit a base, and he had stuff in there. Let's see what's up with this. This is my second formation, where I'm using Gil-galad as the tank with the taunting swans, and then you've got your your three elven units so that you're reaping the benefit of the evasion, right? Doesn't make sense to put the 10th point in this. It just gives you a couple extra defense and attack. Whoop-de-doo. It's 1.8 to be specific. So working on leveling that up. And then you've got your Kingly Kin. And you've got your Stunny Stun. Gandalf. I'm going for the command. That's the reason why I put this on him. I don't really get much of the benefit from the unit attack. The unit extra 6 unit defense is, better than nothing, of course. And then you've got focus on the Grey Wizard hat, focus and unit defense on the Elven Cloak. Even though it's not giving you a lot, it's giving you something. And then the fiddle, more command, unit defense, focus. Those are the big ones. And then you're also getting some command from his relic, Glamdring, the sword of the King of Gondolin. Who is the King of Gondolin? Turgon, baby. Turgon. Just saying, I have a special emotional attachment to this sword. Anyway, it gives him focus, which is good. It gives him command, which is good, and it gives him unit defense. The unit attack I don't care so much about. It's kind of bad luck getting, of the 4 stars, 2 of them increased his unit attack. But, I'm happy that I got 1 in defense and 1 in command. That's what you want. So that's what's going on with Gandalf the Grey. That's how we're using him this season. Basically, he's just here for the White Council and to survive. And the heal is actually not too terrible either. And then now we're 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 goofing with the shadow. It's a new toy for us. And going with the whip because the blazing tongue here increases the commander damage, and then you get attack and focus, which is good. Attack from the cask. The high elf hallberg is pretty strictly just to help keep his units alive from the unit defense, and then you get focus and attack from the drums of Barad-dûr. And he's pretty solid. I mean, you can see 87,500 here, and then Dean Thick. So that's that squad. Oh, I meant to show you the new reports. I'm so sorry. So the new reports, you can toggle, and it gives you like a lot of granular detail, on what happened. So here's the overview. This is the overall damage that the formation did. The 136,000 from Dane, the 87.5 from Shadow. Now you can see it broken out. So the Shadow himself, 74,000 commander damage, 13,000 unit damage. 12,000 unit damage and 124,000 unit damage here. And this is how much damage they took. So a little bit of damage for each of these guys. And, the most damage, went to Gil-galad, who had the taunting unit, as it should. And you can see all kinds of breakdowns here. Like, what is this? Total dead soldiers in this formation. That's pretty cool. Dead versus wounded. All right. Nice. I didn't even notice that myself till now. And you can see round by round which items did, like, which skills did damage, which is pretty cool, right? Oh, I'm sorry. No, this is skill 1, 2, 3, 4. So skill 1, this would be his icicle. That's how much damage he did from icicle. No damage from evasion. No damage from the R3 or those. But you can see now over here for Dane, he got 50,000 from his level 10 R1 skill. He got 34,000 from this skill, which also bear in mind, this is Durin's Blood. This buffs all of his other skill damage, and then King Under the Mountain. So that's pretty cool. Anomalies caused, so stuns. Stuns, baby. Sorry, it's interesting. It's 2 and 1 here, but I only see 1 and 1 here. So I'm not quite sure what happened with the third stun. And what's really cool is you can collapse these. So, yay devs, way to go. And then the new battle report details interface, I think, is a lot more intuitive. So now you can kind of skip down and you can go section by section to see when what happened for who. You can see the order 1, 2, 3, and then he got to go, and then that he went. So that's pretty wow. Wow. It's pretty cool. I like the interface. Can I find any fights at all with my Sauron? All signs point towards no. Just some PvE. Boring. But hopefully we'll have a little bit of fun and some spiciness when we do our ring war here. Oh yeah, this is me just fighting my friend Pricey. I'll show you this report. Actually, I won't show this report. I'm gonna keep those reports to myself. I want to show you the shitty reports. Uh, let's see here. So we'll start at the very beginning where Price wiped my butt on the floor, where I was just kind of doing Sauron with swans, and I threw some rams. It's an all medium unit build to counter an all medium unit build, and you can see he floored me. Um, this, if you could pick a formation to be kind of like the new quote unquote like meta formation, like there probably isn't anything that is going to beat this other than if you fight this with this, and yours is just better than theirs. I think this is pretty much at this point the top of the class in the non-role play uh, system, where you got Sauron as your tank. Let's look at his Sauron. Yeah, it's nice with a Noldor sword. He's got some focus going on here. His defense is a little bit lower, but he's got a lot of stuff going on. He's got some speed, so he's buffing his speed up to 37 from the bonus, and then he's got evasive action for a 5% mitigate, 10% mitigation. 10% mitigation for the first couple rounds here. It's really, 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 really strong. As you can see, I did not really even barely hardly dent him. And then his Dane it looks basically identical to mine. It's pretty funny, except for his is better. At any rate, and then Sauron is really, really great. You're getting just pretty much pure damage from Dane, and then Sauron is kind of doing multiple things for you because with like this skill and this skill, no, I'm sorry, this skill and this skill, but mostly this skill. This is what removes. It basically eats White Council. 3 enemy formations each round. Now maybe it's this one. This is the one. Yeah. So he's doing focus, poison, and burn damage. Just eats White Council. Eats it. Nom 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 nom. But this only hits one enemy. This hits three. So Saruman does a great job of taking down um, the White Council, but he also does more than that. Like I was showing here, he also inflicts madness, so that gives him some versatility in terms of ways that he can impact the battle. But also, he does a fair amount of commander damage himself, as you can see in this fight. He does 87,900. And on my side, he was my top damage dealer at just shy of 90,000. So he can, he almost is like a second support, but he does enough damage to be considered a second damage. So he kind of fills that hybrid role, which is really nice. So when you mix him in with the tank and then the pure damage and then the damage plus all of the intangibles he brings, and then you add White Council to your group on top of that from Gandalf the White. Um, it's really strong. 296 focus, 257 command, 357 command, 245 focus. So his White Council is much stronger than mine because his focus rating is much higher than mine. My Gandalf the White is a little bit tankier, um, but did it really help this fight? I don't think so. There is a little bit of a level disparity because he's got a 44. I don't got a 44. I got two 43s and two 42s, but he's got two 42s and a 41. So all in all, I got whooped. Now, if you want to look at my Bayorn here, this is how I'm running my Bayorn at the moment, and then my Saruman over here. Yeah, I could use more of them books. Lore of the Arcane. And also putting some mithril into his dark staff would increase his damage as well. Did he increase his? Oh, yes, he has. He's at 80, and I think I'm at, what is it at level 0? 20? So he might have refined that like to level 3 on his side. So all things considered, my Saruman did okay, but I still got my butt whipped. But those are my two main formations, and they're fun, and I look forward to using them someday on other people that aren't my teammates or my or our partners. Maybe next season. Who even knows when next season is going to be? Maybe it'll be, December. Maybe it'll be January. It's hard to tell. It's still too early. Got to get through this season first. But with as slow as the season is, one can't help but think towards the future. So that's basically all I got for you this week. I thank you for taking the time to watch my videos. If you've got any questions, comments, concerns, brief declarations, or documents, no, I don't want your documents. Keep your documents, but feel free to leave me a comment below. And we'll see. Maybe I'll, after we finish our ring war, I'll create another video and we can compare. Like, look at all these little teeny ass pins all across the map where people are just, doing little teeny fights. It's so cute. I love you all. At any rate, that's all for me this week. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend and week ahead. Take good care of yourselves. Stay well. Turgon the Wise signing off. Cheers.